Welcome to TV. Right. Good evening to all you guys in Asia. Good afternoon to all you guys in the UK, Europe, and of course, good morning to all you guys in America, South and North, and especially Canada, where Brian Dave comes from. Let's hope he's recovering well from his jet lag. Right. And we always have our great guests on today. And most of my Wednesdays, I always have good guests. Right. Sean is more or less becoming a regular. Ian is back from his golfing trips, right? And Brad has just semi-retired. And Barry, Nick, insert name here. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm supposed. So yeah, everyone's. I think me and Sean are supposed to be working, but we thought we'd jump on.
I am working. I multitasker. Nick.
Sean is multitasking. Nick is playing hooky today from work. And Ian. All right, Ian. Let's get to you, right? You were away while we won. Were you? You're playing golf.
I was back in time for that game. Well, I was meant to come back last Wednesday, but I stayed an extra couple of days after the debacle of having our wallet stolen. So I came back Saturday, but I was back in time to see the Everton game, or the debacle from an Everton game. There are some good people in the chat. Good evening, Khaled, or good afternoon, Khaled. Your lifetime ban has been rescinded from entering the new White Hart Lane. And the Coffee Man, hi Ben, and
Ben,
Mark,
Ben
hi
from TTG, and Mark Cousins,
yeah. I mean, I watched last Wednesday night. I mean, last Tuesday night, having had our wallet stolen on the afternoon, and then you just know when you have a day like that you're going to lose to Middlesbrough, and they didn't disappoint. I mean, that was appalling. I mean, that was utterly appalling. But yeah, good. It was good on Monday night. Really good. Although my story is Everton, is how bad Everton were, because that was a relegation performance if ever I saw one. We were good, but we didn't have to be that good to take them apart.
That's true. Brad, were you at the game, Brad?
Yeah, I was at the game, Monday night game, which means Monday night drinking, which I don't normally do, but when you're at football, you have to, don't you, really? So, but now I'm semi-retired. I don't have to worry about what I'm doing the next day. So, I was there. It was it was neat, as Ian said, it was an easy win. Everton weren't very good, but what I will say is that the two games that we've won on the bounce, Leeds and Everton, everyone's going, "Oh, you should beat them. You should beat them." Yeah, we should beat them, but we beat them well. We beat them 4-0 and 5-0. So my take on that is, well, okay, if we play a better team, we'll still win, but we might win 1-0 or 2-0. So maybe that's
that.
I mean, I do share what people have been saying that, as soon as a team will actually try and play us, then we'll struggle. I do worry about that, but maybe, just maybe, and we've turned the corner that many times. Maybe we have turned the corner, and maybe we will win hard games. Well, they obviously won't be 4 or 5-0.
But Brad, there's always a corner around the corner.
I know. It's who can predict what we're going to do.
Yeah, I know. And Nick, were you at the game?
I was at the game, and I saw Brad after the.
Oh, he saw Brad after what happened. Brad, did you do something, Brad?
No. Not like Brad wasn't on a date, and I wasn't on a date, just so that we cleared that up. Sean didn't see my message. Tommy Mitchell was late because he didn't realise he had to pick. I mean, I saw Iggy, I saw Sim, I saw Grandpa, but the rest of you fuckers, I didn't see you, and I'm upset. And that was the most upsetting thing from the game on Monday night, and I realised I've sworn within 10 minutes, so I apologise. So hopefully West Ham, we can all get together and plan something, and because it's a 4:30 kickoff, so hopefully we can get there a bit earlier and do something, grab some food or do whatever, really. So that's if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine as well, right? I'm not saying we need to do that, but yeah, I was there. It was a good result. It was clinical. This reception for Dele Alli was fantastic, and we move on to the next game. You know, and that's it.
We'll
game
get
by
there.
game. Let's take it game by game. Let's, like I said last night on Tommy's stream, and just take it game by game now. There's no point trying to predict anything. There's no point trying to. Katie thoughts on sport. There's no point trying to predict anything. Let's just go game by game. Go and beat United on Saturday, and then go to Brighton, and then let's see game by game.
Yep. And before we get to Sean, let me bring on one more guest. Hi, Guguma.
Hi,
Guguma.
Hi, Guguma. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Yeah. And let me get to Sean. Sean, you were there with your dad, right? You were saying something. It was a birthday present or something.
Yeah. Well, my birthday's on the 18th of March. When's that? Next Friday, I think it is. And he just got the tickets, so we went out. I was going to do this whole a game day in the life of a Spurs fan thing, and so I started recording. I've got like recording of me walking to the station, me on the train, me giving my thoughts, like getting on the. I've sped it all up, so I walked through the underground. It looks all very professional, but unfortunately, when I the footage, I got to the game, got into the bar, and then sat down, got a little bit of recording of the players coming out and that, and I got 1 minute of footage when the goal was scored. And then for some reason, my camera decided to swap like settings from normal footage to super slow-mo. So everything I got after that moment, like halftime talks, the full times, the travel home, all that stuff, like 2 minute clips when I uploaded them were like hour and a half long things where like it's all slow motion and I can't speed it up. So the whole thing's ruined. So when Nick says missing out on meeting me was the most disappointing part, or missing out on meeting some of the other Tottenham fans was the most disappointing part, Nick, it was a disappointment not to meet you, but it wasn't as disappointing as finding out that I've got like 17 hours of super slow-mo footage that can't be put into full speed and then made some. So I've lost a whole night's worth of content.
That's the director's cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a good game though. Good game. I enjoyed it. And I think that to Brad's point, I think that I'll be turning a corner. I don't know, one game in hand. Oh, sorry, one game per week. The injuries coming back. I'm a little bit worried. Sessegnon obviously got a knock again, but at least we've got a good replacement in him. It's amazing to see Doherty's transformation. I think that Tottenham might go on a little run here if we can get a decent result against Manchester United. I don't want to speak too soon, Ian, but I can see that look on your face.
Yeah, I'll come in. Yeah, I'm worried. I'm just worried about how credible on a show I can be with a cock sticking out of my head. But
okay. All right.
Okay. Did you do that on purpose, Eugene?
That's hilarious.
I know. But Guguma, Guguma, you had to wake up at 5 a.m., right, just to watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very early. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very early. And for me, I had it very weird because I wasn't able to sleep. So by the time the kickoff start, I was just about to sleep. So I watched the first half and we were 3-0 up. And by the time the second half came along, I dozed off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Second half was boring anyway, mate. You didn't miss much.
Yeah, I dozed
Well,
off.
poor old Chris from Let's Talk Tottenham. He was going to go to the game, and he
all
the trains stuffed him up.
Oh God, yeah.
He didn't go, so he
Missed
missed
a good
out
one.
on that. And also a big shout out to my mate Steve, he's probably not watching, but he doesn't sit in the same seat as me, but he apparently went for a beer at half time. A guy bought him a drink, and he missed the start of the second half, and therefore missing Reguilon's goal. And then during 10 minutes later, he decided he wanted to go to the toilet, and he missed on Harry Kane's goal. So.
Nice.
And I only just saw Harry Kane's second goal, our third goal. I was actually coming back from the toilet, and I was literally walking down the stairs towards my seat when we scored. So I didn't miss it, but that was good.
Okay, all right.
think,
And Google.
Go on. Sorry, Eugene. No, go on.
That's all right. Guguma, your thoughts on Monday's game? Was it satisfying?
It was so good. It was so fun. I'm so happy for the team. I feel like everybody played well. And yeah, I was just so happy to see so many goals and our players smiling and stuff. So yeah, it was really good. I'm really
Mhm.
excited for us. I know that Everton are not doing very well right now, but I still feel like our team played really well.
Yeah. Google Ma, you can say Everton is shit. Don't worry.
Never heard you swear, Kaguma.
Oh, Google Ma doesn't swear, right? She
She's
doesn't
a
swear.
lady. She
Right?
doesn't swear, Eugene. Don't give me this.
I know. We'll let Google Ma be the light one.
Kaguma's the light to our dark.
Yeah.
But before we carry on, just have a shout out to the guys in the chats, right? Ben, good morning, right? And good evening and good afternoon. Ben, Mark Cousins, right? Big up, Derek Hutchinson, Bobby K. Hey, Bobby K. How's the morning going on? Right, Bobby K. Geez, Nicks. Okay, starting it. Cody Mac, I think he's getting ready for work. So it's really, yeah, right. Let's see. Sean found his hat. How long until Bugsy takes it back? Oh yeah, I was watching some streams.
This is hat 5. This is Mark 5. It's the same hat, just the 5th version because Bugsy likes a bit of a played. I think. You know.
Okay. Oh, Bugsy, yeah, your dog. Yeah, I forgot Bugsy. Dog, yeah. And big up to Derek Hutchinson. We should not get carried away with the Everton result, as Everton were not credible opposition. They were woeful, right? Eva Man, big up. She's from Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken. Eva, right? Graham. Big up, Graham.
Hello, Graham.
Hi, Graham. Right. And of course, let's get back. Ian, you were just saying just now before I.
It was picking up on I think it was Sean's point, or was it Brad's, about going on a run. And I've been thinking that for weeks, that that Conte's got them going, got them firing. We're going to go on a run and then beat Brighton. And then you're on streams and it's, the next 2 games are, Southampton and Wolves. Well, we should beat them. And then we're really flying. So, and this is Tottenham. And it really is that terrible cliche, one game at a time. If ever one game at a time was appropriate for a football club, it's Tottenham Hotspur.
Do you think we took Southampton and Wolves for granted, though, Ian? Do you think we underestimated them a little?
But guys, we can't play 2 games at a time anyway. So also it's one game at a time.
I think the fans may have done. I'm not sure about I think the part of the problem was that tactically, and I think we could talk about Everton. I mean, I agree with Derek Hutchison about Everton. That's what I said in the introduction. I thought Everton were absolutely woeful. Yeah. But I mean, there is a way of playing Tottenham, pressing and squeezing that space. And they did it, and we didn't have an answer. I don't know that Manchester United will play like that. Everton should have, in my view, played like that and didn't. Take them for granted? I don't think so. That wouldn't be my view, no. But we've got to find ways of being better, playing through and around and over the press. Because when we do that, and we did it very effectively on Monday night, and we've done it in other games, we can look a very, very, very good side.
Good team, yeah.
Hold on, guys. Let me bring on another guest. Just hold on. Hi, Bobby. Good morning.
Hey, Bobby.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, good morning. How are you, Ian, Brad, Sean, Gaguma? What name are we going with? Barry, and of course Eugene.
Yeah, good morning. But
how's
guys,
everything all around the world?
Yeah, all around the world. Yeah, more or less around the world now.
Yeah, it's great.
From
and
Europe
how cool,
to Asia
how cool
to
is
Americas.
that? How cool is that?
Gotta love
7
technology.
people on the chat, and we're all everywhere right now.
Exactly, and that's the thing, Sean. I'm glad I have children because they can show me how to use this stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. But what Ian is saying is very true, right? Every time we beat a team, our expectations go way up high.
Yeah.
Right. And then whenever we lose to a team, we fall like jumping off a cliff and all that. So I don't know. That's part of being a Spurs fan. I think we've been through that for so many years. But for me, I've always maintained a certain kind of level that we lose, okay, fair. We win, fair. Right. So, Bugsy.
Can you hear my dog downstairs? Can you?
Yeah.
I can hear your doorbell.
Someone you hear the door as well. Wow, this microphone is not particularly isometric or whatever they call it. But
don't use the fancy tech terms now. Okay, it's early over here.
Yeah, I've got this other microphone that is like a super duper classy one, but it doesn't allow you to play music through StreamYard. And this thing that I bought, which was Will Stewart's recommendation, does. But apparently it also brings in if the guy next door sneezes, apparently you guys can hear it. So
it picks up everything. It's
picks up
sensitive,
everything. Yeah, so not great.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I just stuck with what Mr. Ireland over at Tottenham on tour told me to get.
Oh, nice. You got one of them as
the
well. There's
little
lots of those
simple
little
one.
black balls. Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
them.
Balls, silver balls, white balls.
Brown balls.
There you go.
Have you got one as well, have you?
Yeah, Brad's with the balls.
Okay.
Shut up.
Look at that.
That's
That's
my leaving. That's my leaving present. For
Little retirement present. Fantastic.
Yeah, my retirement present.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about you
yeah.
left Sega.
No, that was he left Sega,
almost 2 weeks now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I
like
keep
was saying,
interrupting Eugene.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's okay. As I was saying, the ups and downs, right? But coming to a sense that some of us have become, very used to it already. Like for me, it's that okay, we win, we lose, so we don't get a bit too overly hyped up about it. Yeah. So the thing is that certain times of games, like we see that we do know that we do have it in our team to perform, but whenever it comes to the weaker teams, we overperform, right? And certain things is like I feel it's very weird. It's like some kind of selection is going on that's being chosen. Like the FA Cup, what happened? That actually, if you sit down and you analyze it, it's like it's an eye opener, right? Why did we play like this? Why can't we perform like that, right? So, but in the end of the day, it is what it is, right? We have already we're out of all the cups, so I guess now the only focus that we have left is just on the league. And the focus on the league now, I think, should be the most intense period for us, because we do know the outcomes, right? If we don't get into at least the top 4, right, there will be repercussions. I tell you, even in the top 6, it looks very shaky at the moment. There is already saying, I read on BBC Rumors and all that, they were saying that Kane is saying Champions League, if we do achieve Champions League and Conte stays, he will be staying. Yeah. And if we don't achieve that, right? So there are a lot
Conte's
of
future and Kane's future are inextricably linked, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
they're linked. Yeah, they're all entwined. And of course,
I like to describe Tottenham Hotspur Football Club as Schrodinger's Spurs. Because if you take any match, if you
both dead and alive at the same time,
exactly, the TV on, and you
never check the box.
Yeah, Spurs are either winning or losing. They're both winning and losing at the same time. It's only when you find out what the result is.
It's a roller coaster ride. Jump on, strap in.
That's all, Brad.
No, after the game, he was saying like, when we win, you can have dinner with him, and maybe they'll go to the disco together. I thought that was so cute.
Who?
He said he'd go to the disco after he has dinner with you if he wins.
Nice.
Oh my God. And Conte still refers it as a disco, not a club.
Yeah.
I think looking at the panel now, I don't know how old Guguma is, but I think Sean is the only one that might call it a club. The rest of us, it would still be a disco, I think.
I'm 38, 38 next week, so I'm on the verge.
Yeah, I think this is the 40+ club, mate.
Bobby.
Oh no, Barry. Oh yeah, you're a young man. Sorry.
Yeah, me and Sean, and Gaguma are the youngsters here. So
yeah, but you know what? I know your family situation and how many children I have, so you have to add a decade for every child as well.
Oh, so I'm
on paper you're 26, but in daddy world you're 56.
No, I'm not that young.
But Eugene, I have to kind of put my foot in the mouth from what I was saying the other day when I was on your show with you guys and speaking about how I don't want to finish top 4. I was not able to watch the game live, so I had to go back and I watched it, the highlights and everything, and I finally watched the full game yesterday. And what I realized is what a difference one player coming into the team made. What a difference the midfield made when Bentancur was in there. One player changed the entire shape and concept of the way our team was playing and the energy they played with. And, maybe they came in with more desire, a little bit more rest and everything like that from the previous week and everything. Now we're out of the cups and everything. They can concentrate. We all know Conte's a one-game-a-week manager. He hasn't done well in any of the teams when he's got more than one game. But what I realized in seeing that one player come in and make such a heavy impact on our team, I have to retract everything I said, because now I actually want us to finish top 4 and make sure Conte gets back. Because if we can get in, we don't need to go and buy 8 players. We need to get 1, 2, 3 keys into the cog that he wants and that will play the system he wants.
I know 3 players isn't enough for me, Bobby. I think we still need five.
Oh, no,
we need a world-class left-sided centre back. Even if we get rid of Romero and even Emerson Royale. If you get rid of Emerson Royale, if Emerson Royale leaves, even if Doherty can turn it on for the rest of the season, and don't get me wrong, he looks like a new player and it's superb. But I think we need to obviously strengthen in the right wing back, whether it's as a first choice worldie or someone to compete,
or
with
even
Doherty.
as a backup, somebody to compete, because now we have that competition. If Reggie stays, then we got Cess on the other side now, who's actually done well. I was really concerned about Cess's confidence and everything when he got yanked so full, but obviously Conte pulled him under his wing and said, "Look, it's not personal. This is part of the game. I have to change the shape. Unfortunately, I have to sacrifice you." But
Still need a world-class midfielder.
We are praising Doherty and Sessegnon against a team like Everton and Leeds. You get what I'm saying? Do you know when I was watching that match, right? I was in bed and I didn't dare to sleep until at least the halftime went by, because when the first goal went in, I was like, okay, they're going to score again. They're going to score against us. Then the second goal went in. I don't believe this. They're still going to score against us. That's the kind of confidence that you get.
But Eugene, you can't criticize Doherty for only playing very well against the team. When he came on again, he didn't play against Manchester City. He got 10 minutes at the end, and he put in a match-saving block. And that I think was the trigger. Yeah. When he put his chest in front of the ball and he celebrated like he scored a goal. That video was shared on Twitter. And it was like people were ridiculing him, going like, all right, mate, all you did was just get your body in front of it. But I think that was the start of some confidence trigger. He's a confidence player.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, he, like, against Middlesbrough, everyone was awful, but he was the least awful of the entire team. And against Leeds, he was phenomenal. Against Everton, he was phenomenal. Like, I know, I take your point that you have to take it with a pinch of salt because it's against weaker opposition, but he hasn't had a chance. If he turns it on against Manchester United, Eugene, would you then turn around and say, well, okay, Matt Doherty's now someone that we can take a bit more seriously?
It's also him playing in his position.
No, if he turns on at MU, right? I said I'll give him a chance.
Yeah, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Man, you're tough, Eugene.
No. The thing is that come on,
no, it's fine, Eugene. I know where you're coming from. I get it.
To tell the truth, right? Everton, if Frank Lampard, right, had a bit of brains, right, studied how we play and what Burnley did to us, what Southampton did to us, what
sit deep and press,
low blockers, frustrate us, and we'll break in the end of the day because we don't have the creativity. But what Bobby K said was very true. Bentancur, when he came back, I see him as the key. You know, now I see him as the key that will unlock defenses. You know, we were missing that key when you had wings there, right?
Oh God,
you were like going. Oh God! Yeah, you were going like, oh God, right? What is
my
he
ears
doing?
are burning.
Would you also give a little bit of credit? I thought that Kulusevski, the thing I love about Kulusevski is Kulusevski has this
intelligent.
He looks up as soon as he receives the ball. He looks up and observes the whole game in a fraction of a second and figures out the best way to use the ball. And he's equally he's not selfish, he's unselfish, but he's also prepared to have a crack with his left foot. But he also finds if it's a better thing to pass the ball, he'll do that. I think his reading of the game is just absolutely sublime.
He also
Swedish sharing him
fourth goal with his wrong foot as well.
Yeah.
But okay. This is a Will Stewart joke, right? Yeah. Can you show the stats?
Cody.
Man, the Canadians are after you, Sean.
I love Cody. I've got a lot of love for that man. He's very funny.
And big up the Dermot. Hey, Dermot.
Hi, Dermot.
Good morning. Hey, good afternoon to Dermot. Right. But as I'm saying, right, the game that we had against Everton, we know. I mean, I expected them to turn up with a plan. And their plan was to play like Leeds. So I guess it fell into our hands, correct? So, and we beat teams like that, right? And Nick, you were at the game itself. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Nick, Brad, and Sean, you three guys, right? Ian, were you there?
No, I was back in Glasgow. No, so no, I didn't see.
You three guys were actually, you three guys were actually in the stadium. And like a lot of people say, when you're in the stadium and you watch the match, you see the whole scene. of
Yeah.
the pitch. Right?
Yeah.
Not like us when we are watching on TV, we just get a segment of it, right, where the ball is. But overall wise, right, did you see any changes in the organization that we had? Were we playing more like a team, or were we, like what Bobby K said, with Bentancur and Kulu, with Bentancur and Deki there, right? Our team now looks like it's more intelligent, right?
Yeah.
We
so you
are
can see
making the running, the positioning, the passing, right, the preempt moves and all that. Do you see that?
Yeah,
Let's go with Brad.
There was a time
I think it might have been Ben Kaufman last night on David's Irish Hotspur show said, he says when Bentancur's playing, he can actually organise. Whereas, here we go. Whereas, and it allows Højbjerg to just be like, a warrior, essentially. Because Højbjerg is great at, doing this and doing that. But he doesn't do anything constructive. He's just shouting at people. Whereas I think Bentancur tends to organise a lot more. And I think that sort of showed in the game. We never really looked in trouble. I mean, I don't think Lloris had a save to make.
No, not one
I don't think they had a shot on target, did they? No. And I know what you was saying about, when they 1-0 up, and it's Everton are going to score 2-0, or Everton are going to score. I mean, they never looked like they were going to score. They never really even. I mean, Leeds threatened us. Leeds had chances. Leeds should have scored, but I don't think Everton had any one moment. And it just seems. And also, what I like about when Tottenham win, yes, you do have your outstanding players, but it always seems to be a really good team performance. So the games against Leeds and against Everton, I couldn't sort of say, it's basically everyone played well. There was not really any weak link. And that to me is good, because an old Australian saying is a champion team will always beat a team of champions. And I think that's really, really relevant. Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bobby. How's your physio getting on?
Bye,
Yeah, I
Bob.
hope everything's going well. Right. And Nate, I mean, you were at a game. What did you see? What did you get out of the whole picture apart from us?
Yeah, Bentancur 100%. He was orchestrating things. You could see after a couple of goals, he was saying to everyone, his arms were like this. He was pointing left and right. He was going to get the balls. He was like the one that was in control. Yes, I think there was a couple of times where he lost the ball too easily, but. I think with him there, I mean, what a difference. It's like chalk and cheese with Winks and him being there. So,
no, the point I was getting to with that whole thing was that I'll take it that's for Bob Spur. The point that I was getting to is just that, not that I'm saying that we only need one or two players. The point was that I was seeing what a difference one player can make. So getting in another player, 2 or 3, I can see that making an impact in the squad. Is that enough? No, it's not. We do need more players. We do need to strengthen pretty much in every area. We don't have a bench. So pretty much we could take half of this team and make them our bench, and then bring in the players we need to go into the starting 11 and really, get up there and start competing again for some sort of silverware, be it in any
Bobby,
competition.
I think the key, though, is in terms of top 4, is that there's 2 factors at play. One, the significant amount of income, possibly an extra £60 million that would be generated.
That Levy won't spend it. That's the problem.
Hang on. Let me make the point. The second point is that actually it's not good saying just spend the money. We've done that. We've gone out and spent money on Dross. And if you want to know about spending money on Dross, I read that Everton have spent something like £568 million over the last 5 years. So any idiot can spend money badly. Anyone can spend money badly. The thing is that if Conte wants, I actually don't agree. I think that this transfer window is going to be crucial, and I think that Levy will spend money. But the key is spending it well, and that Conte will be able to attract the quality of player he wants, because good players will want to play under a top coach, but it will be much easier to attract them if we can offer them Champions League football, with Conte saying, you're playing in the Champions League and I'm building a side and I want you to join that's going to challenge at the top of the league and for cups. That makes a huge difference to what we can do.
But,
100%. Yeah, 100%.
No, but in the end of the day, Ian, it's not what players that Levy want. Like I've been saying all this while. Even if we have £100 million just to spend, right? I just want Levy to get what players Conte wants. right?
I didn't say Levy, did I? I said the
no.
players that Conte wants, I hope.
No,
Yeah,
I
he
said
did.
Levy was a bit hesitant to spend. He makes me nervous, but then again, it's what you're saying, Ian. It's our scouting department that has consistently failed there. You know,
Well-
I still preach on about.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Hitchin. I'm so glad he's gone, and look how terrible Everton is doing because of the players they brought in too. So hey, carry on doing.
But that's not Hitchin's fault. That's not Hitchin's fault.
Well, he was there, so who knows how much of a hand he had in it. But he brought in a few of them. But you know,
did?
once we lost Paul Mitchell there, well, he didn't. He was already there before Dele Alli came over, wasn't he? And the Van de
Hitchin?
Beek
No.
deal? Was
No, no,
Hitchin
no,
not
no,
already
no.
over?
No. Delhi went
He got
first.
over- Dele
yeah,
went first.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Then never
and-
mind. I'll take that back then. But
Hitchin was never involved in the purchase of any of the Everton players.
but this is the thing. Like Paratici, I'm hoping is realizing there's more leagues than just Italy to look at, and is really scouting out there and trying to find us some talent because it seems like we're just going to keep jumping into the one area and stealing. And I can't.
Hi, Jamie, and Ian. You were saying just now.
Oh my god!
Yes, and you were saying just now, right?
It's Biggles.
There you go. Sean's getting in on it.
Hey, 2-0.
Wait a minute, Sean, you reminded me of-
What more would you want, Eugene?
Oh dear. Oh,
Sean,
dear.
pull it a little bit forward, and then I've got an elderly Indian lady across the street.
Yeah,
to remind me
hang
of
on.
now. She's got the same beard.
Oh, yeah.
Can you do this now? Can you do this?
Hello.
accent-
dear, don't go
accent
there.
needs more
Don't go there.
Demonetized.
Don't go there. Okay, don't go there. Don't go there. All right,
No,
but
you
okay,
see,
let's
you
get back
see
to
my,
Sean.
my tagline, the Manila Chirpy.
And let's get back to Sean.
happy
We were
story.
talking about the overall view of the game, right, Sean? Remember we were talking about you
Yes.
it was up your turn. You were at the stadium, overall view of the game. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought that. Listen, I definitely agree with what was previously said about Bentancur's involvement. I think there's more than just what he does on the ball. I think he brings in a level of confidence. I think that with him there, Højbjerg has a bit more freedom to be a bit more like, look, when we've got the ball, when we haven't got the ball, he can move into spaces rather than tracking and tracing. Opposition players, because he knows when Winksy's next to him that Winksy doesn't do that. So like there's added kind of indirect benefits to having a different setup in midfield, and Bentancur's involvement is wonderful when he's on the ball. But I think it also just breeds confidence throughout the team. It allows other players. Harry Kane doesn't have to come back as deep like he does against other teams when Harry Winks is in the team. It allows people to have more freedom and movement. And I take the point that Everton are a poor team. They were woeful. I think I really fear for them. I've been saying for a long time, with the state of their finances, if they go down, even if they don't go down, they might get deducted points anyway because they're in such dire straits with their finances. But if they do go down, I don't think you'll see Everton again for a long time. And that's a massive shame. So you have to take it with a pinch of salt because we have just smashed a team, but a very poor, woeful team that are on. That they're on their last legs, I guess. And even the team that they have, the best players, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, they were all awful on the night. The only player that Everton had that looked good was the only player that Everton had on the team that looked good was Gordon. I thought Gordon looked like a real talent. And if he goes, I don't know if Everton do go down, I don't know if he'd be available or someone that we could buy because I think he's a local lad and I think he loves Everton. So, but either way, I thought there's lots of positives, right? And obviously, like you said, Eugene, everyone in the Tottenham community, we peak and trough alongside the form with our momentum and our own energy and our own belief. I think that, I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm going to get excited as the week progresses into the Manchester United game. I would like to ask you guys some questions about, what things like Harry Kane said about, it's time, the time for excuses. Hi, Mr. Kane. Time for excuses is over. I'd love to know what he meant by excuses, like who's making excuses in the team, etc. But listen, we'll see what happens. If we can smash Man United or if we can get 3 points in Man United, whatever form it comes in, if we do a good job, then I'm going to get super excited and I'm going to get really positive about our chances. Until Man United... We're not
Would you
sure.
accept a decent draw at Old Trafford if we played well?
No. I think Man United are there for the taking.
Yes.
And the one thing that was said earlier, how like Everton should have learned from how to play us. Burnley learned, Southampton learned, Watford almost learned. Middlesbrough, Everton didn't. What I'm interested to see is if Manchester United, they're on the rebound after their humiliating result against Manchester City, and even with Ronaldo that went AWOL, he's now back. But if he comes back in, he's obviously the danger man because he always does well against Tottenham. But if he comes back in, Manchester United can't play the press because the press requires all 10 outfield players to be on the same tune. And Ronaldo doesn't play that way. So if Ronaldo's in, then United can't do the press. And if United can't do the press, then they're more vulnerable to a Tottenham formation than they would be if they did play the press. But I'm fearful of Ronaldo's brilliance in any given moment. So it's one of those, like, pick your poison. What would you rather? A Ronaldo in the team that doesn't press, and then you take your chances with Ronaldo against Doherty or against Romero or against Davies, wherever he plays? Or would you rather Ronaldo out of the team and they press and then we have to see whether we can handle it?
How motivated is Ronaldo? See, that's
not at all. Yeah, not at all. Yeah. But I think he's one of those players that will, like, he whatever happened between the Man City game, he disappeared, right? And now he's come back. If he does play, he's going to want to prove a point. And when you've got someone like him who's fired up, he's impossible to play against. So
I'm actually curious about that because what we saw in the media over here regarding that is obviously something different because we know the media all around the world with you guys in England and then you guys are over in the eastern part of the world. I'm over here in Canada, so we all get different information. Now, what I saw was the fact that Ralph was told that he is unfit for the game, that he's carrying some sort of hip injury or something from the team medical doctors. But Ronaldo's sister or something posted something on Twitter saying he's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with him. Stop making excuses. Let my brother play or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
I don't know what you guys heard over there because the media is just, let's feel like full of shit. Right? So
to tell the truth, I don't care.
Yeah, fair enough. But I just want to know if there is discord over there, right? Yeah,
that's MU's problem. But I don't
and that's
care.
good for us, though. The more problems they have.
Yeah, right? I'm always concerned when we play.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, Brad. Welcome back, Mr. K. You haven't been on Spurs Vision for a long time.
Nice to finally meet you, the legend.
Yeah, Mr. K, right? And Mr. K was at the stadium too. So did any of you guys meet up with him?
No. You guys haven't put it together, Bobby K and Mr. K. That's my uncle.
I missed out. I was supposed to bump into Sean, but I didn't get time. I was like running a little bit late.
I was late as well. No, I was late as well, bro. So it was,
I tell you the truth. It was. It finally broke the Mr. Jinx duck. Finally went to a game that we actually won. So that was kind of good. 5 goals. I think that's a good, good compensation.
But I was asking. I've been asking.
But, you were talking earlier about Ronaldo. Go on.
I was asking the guys who were in the stadium. You were there. You saw the overall picture. What was your opinion and thoughts of how our team performed?
I think that basically we were extremely lucky that Everton was absolutely diabolically poor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but we took our chances well. We could have scored more. Yeah. We played much better than Everton. We looked the better outfit as a team together collectively. We weren't the finished polished article. I think, Sean, you were there. You could see that. We weren't the finished polished article. There's still much work to be done. But, we took our chances well. We controlled the game in the second half, which was interesting to see because, we were up 5 goals and we could have maybe pressed for more. But everyone understood that they need to keep the ball, pass it around. And the whole stadium started to participate, with the ball being just passed around. And that's kind of a good thing because, one of the things we've lacked in the past is that ability of retaining the ball, like without necessarily going to attack, but keeping it with confidence, keeping it away, demoralizing the opposition, making them run around. So I think the other thing was that Dele Alli came back, and that was really from the heart. The whole stadium was singing his name.
That was nice.
And, I think water under the bridge now with Dele Alli. He's no longer one of our players, but all that love is there now. So all that negativity is gone, and it's just now filled with the good memories that we have of him. 5 goals. We needed that in our goal difference. We've now got plus 8 goal difference.
9 in
and
2
that
games.
is very, very crucial. Exactly, 2 games as well. So I think we've turned it around a little bit, but it kind of shows that the league this season has been very temperamental. Like, some people are going up, they look like they're going to keep their position in top 4, and then all of a sudden they have a bad run, they drop down to 6th, another team comes up. So, that's kind of interesting. I'm not going to say that we've got any aspirations for top 4. Personally, I would like to get into top 6, keep the European position going, give Conte more time in the summertime to build and strengthen the team, and then we'll see what happens at the end of summer. But I've got a very positive feeling about everything, regardless of whether we get 1 or 2 negative results. I think Conte is enjoying a little bit of the work that he's doing. That temperamental side of it. Go on.
I was going to say, I'm always a bit worried where, we're playing Man United at the right time. I always get worried about those sort of things. People are going into this week, we should win this, and it's never an easy case.
That's when we don't.
Yeah. But we have a situation now where we have got 3. Maybe two definitely in big games. Man United, Arsenal, and you could argue West Ham. They're the 3 rivals for top 4. We cannot afford to lose any of those games because that will give them a points advantage on us. But if we had to win one of those games, you gave me one of those games to win, it'll be the Arsenal game. Not obviously because of obvious reasons, being Arsenal, but the fact that we're behind them. We can catch other teams on their games in hand rubbish, but Arsenal we can't. But a win against Arsenal, and if Arsenal won their game in hand, they're 6 points clear. We beat Arsenal, then we're only 3 points behind with so many games to go. And they've got some tough games coming up. The other thing is that no matter how many tough games Arsenal, West Ham and Man United have got, we can't affect that. There's nothing we can do about those games. We have to win every game we play, or as much as we can. We can affect their games when we play them. But any of their other games, we can't affect. So I think those 3 games, and we got 2 of them coming up in the next 2 weeks, are going to be incredibly important. Here we go. The race for Europe.
I've kept this
sorry,
updated.
I've got to. Unfortunately, I've got a personal situation. Unfortunately, I have to deal with right now, and so I'm going
Bobby.
I'm kind of sad because I've been really looking forward to speaking and getting to Mr. K here. I've been following you and the Levy out, man. I go back and I watch that video, and I get a good crack, and always a pleasure seeing all of you. Sean finally got on again with you, so.
Take
care.
care.
Have a great day, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Godspeed,
Thank
both.
you very much. Okay, we'll see you.
Bobby,
catch up.
Levy out.
Levy out. That's it. One more before me. One more for me, Mr. K.
Levy out.
As always.
There we go. Come on, you Spurs. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care, Bobby.
I think it's important to always keep a sense of humor and a bit of lightheartedness.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays with everything going on in the world. All that negativity around in the world can impact upon us, the fans, and make us a little bit more volatile. And even when I say levy out, I do it with a sense of humor as well.
Oh, yeah, and that's what's the
because
best part
at the end
about
of the day, that is a human being, and we can't dehumanize human beings.
Sure about that?
We're
I
seeing
don't
that
know.
being done. When we are critical of somebody, whether it's a player, a referee, whether it's a system like VAR, we've got to remember that there are people that worked hard behind the scenes somewhere. And we can't dismiss that work that's being done. We have to be fair with our criticism. And I think it's good to have all the different types of people that we've got in our Spurs community, because each of us can give a different view, and all together it can become balanced. And I think it's fundamentally important that we come together and we back the team. We back Conte. We've got to believe in what Conte can do. And with these fixtures coming up, this race for Europe, Conte has always turned around and said that he's, whenever they asked him, like, where do you expect us, where's the expectation? He goes, no, let's just finish the season. We take it 1 game at a time. When we finish the season, we'll assess where we are. And I think to a certain degree, he's looking at it like a project where he's thinking, you know what? First of all, let me see how the season finishes, and then I can assess, okay, well, this is where we are right now. What do I need to do? How do I need to tweak this? How do I need to add to this
too reactive,
in order for
though,
us to have aspirations?
It's too reactive, though, mate.
Very good.
At this point in time, Conte was calling out Daniel Levy, all those kind of cryptic clues. I think he was basically saying, if you're trying to infer what the message was, it was don't wait until June the 1st to start your transfer activity. Identify
Yeah,
now. Now, I know that Daniel Levy's the sort of guy that goes, well, I don't know how much we've got to spend until I know where we finish, until I know what the season ticket renewals are. I don't want to write checks that my revenue balance sheet can't cash. But he does need to now be looking at him, Paratici, and Conte to get together once a week and be looking at that list of free transfers that are out there. They're not free transfers. It's just a shift of who gets the signing fee. Is it the players or is it the old club? Sure. We need to be making those moves now, I think, to get.
I totally agree. Sure. He must have a rough idea how much money we're going to have. Else he wouldn't be in the job.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you
can
forecast.
Sean, that's why he's already asking for the season tickets.
Guys, it is important to understand that depending upon where you finish, the type of money that you can have made available to you can be dramatically different. I'll give you an example. If you finish, say, for example, 7th or 6th, and as opposed to 4th, if you end up 4th instead of 6th or 7th, you can literally double your budget in terms of what you spend.
It's about 50 million.
And I think that's fundamentally important. Go on. Sorry,
if you finish 4th and then you qualify for the Champions League, which you should do, then essentially if you get knocked out into the Europa League at the end of the group stages, let's say that's the worst case scenario, or you go deep into the tournament, into the Champions League, the difference is about, you get anywhere from 110 million to 170 million, depending on how far you go. If you qualify for the Champions League, your revenue streams from prize money and from media will be anywhere from 80 million to 120, depending on how far you go. And if you get to the Conference League, it's about 30 million, more than you would do if you didn't qualify at all. So the spectrum is zero money, or like zero as your baseline for not qualifying for Europe, 30 million for the Conference League, about 70 million, about 80 million for the Europa League, and about 120 on average for the Champions League. So if we presume that we're going to finish somewhere between 4th and 6th, then it's about a 50 million, Sean, 60 million difference.
Sean, do we not already have some obligations to buy some players, or possibility to buy these players, and so some of our budget is going to have to be allocated for them? Or is that budget already allocated? I don't know what the situation would be.
It's not allocated on the balance sheet. It's not been already put aside.
So that's going to come out. That's going to come out of our budget.
Well, right? But I would hope that. I'd hope that when you hear things like when Daniel Levy's saying there's money available, and when you hear Conte saying we've had a conversation, it's positive. I'm guessing. Essentially, all of those things, like when you know that you've got to pay 60 million for Romero, that's not 60 million that you pay now. You basically pay it off over 5 years, right? So we already owe.
The good thing here,
we still owe 60 million.
Here, Sean, Sean. The good thing here is that to compensate, to offset that, we've got players that could possibly, we might be able to sell them right now. They're out on loan, but maybe we can compensate, and then if we do get any decent position for Europe, then maybe that might be the icing on the cake, and might give Conte the ability to say, you know what, I can now go for this year and see what I can get for this team. He might by summertime realize that maybe win the league might be just a stretch too far for next season.
We won't win the league next season.
You know what? Let me see if I can get a trophy and build a good infrastructure, so that when he finishes his contract, he can then turn around and say, okay, do I want to stay? Is there a likelihood that we can then go for a league win for him to stay? Or alternatively, he might say, look, I've built your infrastructure, I've got you to a good position, but, Bayern Munich is calling me, or PSG is calling me.
I'll summarise by saying, just looking into the finances, that we still owe 60 million this year. We owe 60 million on previous purchases, on things like Ndombele, things like Brian Hill. I think we're even paying off still some of Sanchez. Those sorts of things are still being paid off. We haven't even factored into the financials, the records that have been delivered. You haven't even factored in Brian Hill, Emerson Royale. Any of those are not factored in yet, and neither Kulusevski nor Bentancur. But in a nutshell, just to keep it very simple, I think that regardless of where we finish, if Conte's to stay, bare minimum there is 120 million that is additional available, and if we finish top 4, then I would expect that number to go to 160 million. But if that's not available for whatever reason, then there's no excuse in my book. And you know how I feel. I look at the finances, and that's where I come from. And if there's not at least 100 million, 120 million spent, then I'll be joining you guys at the Levy Out Brigade because it's his last chance saloon.
I think Ian made a very good point, which was that basically the scouting side has really let the club down
100%.
in terms of being able to get good value for younger, talented players and doing their work and research properly.
Yeah.
I mean, if other clubs can pick up talents from here, there, and everywhere, why couldn't our scouting network have done it? And been there to schmooze the agents, to get a good feel from the families, and to talk to the parent clubs, because a lot of this is about relationship building. And about creating aspirations inside those individuals, and that requires a personality to do so. So there's a whole bunch of areas that Paratici, Conte, and the board have to fix, and I'm feeling good about it because I know that they're addressing it. How effectively they address it and how quickly they move. I don't think it will be everyone's cup of tea. I don't believe that you can change a system immediately within a year. It takes a little bit longer to do that. And the signs are good stadium, good generation around the club. We've now got a scouting network that's now being brought up to date. And hopefully there'll be good things coming out of it. I'd like to maintain a positive mental attitude towards this.
Khalid, can I come in? Can I come in there? Because I think a lot of us are starting to become much on the same page. I certainly defer to Sean's better detailed knowledge than me on the finances, but we're very much on the same page. I'm prepared to give Levy some leeway. That's bad.
Daniel Leeway. Hashtag leeway out.
Yeah, get rid of the leeway. In terms of, when he came into the club, let's play devil's advocate for a minute. When he came into the club, he said, I can't compete. We've got a 36,000-seater stadium. I'm competing with Arsenal. I'm competing with Man United, Liverpool, who've got 50,000-seater stadium plus. It washes to an extent, but it only washes to the extent now that we have a 60,000-seater stadium. We're charging the highest prices in football. We've got the facility for NFL and other events. There are enough revenue streams now for Levy to be absolutely out of excuses if that £100 million isn't spent this summer. And in particular, Sean, I'm going to assume that would exclude any monies that we get in from sales, because I'm assuming that Ndombele, Lo Celso, possibly Hill, Winks, who else is away? There'll be money coming in from Delhi. Hopefully, I'm assuming that if he stays at Everton, he'll play in enough games for us to start making money on him this season. That could be Royale. There could be another £150 million in sales. So,
well, no, I think
hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Nate, you need to make a move. Plug your channel for tomorrow. Any shows coming up?
Yeah, so we've got Tommy Mitchell tomorrow. Hopefully for the whole
the Mitchell brothers.
But you never know. But no, tomorrow night at 7:30. I don't know whether I'm going to join in this evening. Obviously, he's on there this evening. But I'll catch you all guys soon. And
take care, Nick.
3 points.
Cheers, Nick.
All right.
See you, Nick.
Take care. Bye. Take care. All right. Sorry to interrupt. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, because what I was asking Sean is, were those figures the figures that he quoted that those monies would exclude any incoming finance from outgoing players?
The only ones that I think would be if you can get money back on Lo Celso and Ndombele.
Yeah,
that money would literally be writing off the debt that we already have or the money owed.
Yeah.
So because that money's not factored onto it's factored onto the balance sheet, but it's not factored into the transfer kitty. So it wouldn't be a case like I would imagine that because that stuff is paid off, as I say, over the lifetime of a contract, which is usually 5 years. I would imagine that if we get 30 million back on Ndombele, for example, we probably already paid off 30 million of the 60. if we get 30 million back, it would literally just be a wash. It would be like, okay, well, we don't owe you anymore. So I'd imagine I think that here's where Daniel Levy would probably be a little bit sneaky. He would say, well, that money's not going into the transfer kitty because that money was already dedicated to be paying off the loan from the previous purchase. And I think it would probably be the same for Lo Celso. But people like Cameron Carter-Vickers, if we can get 10 million from Celtic for Cameron Carter-Vickers, if we can get any money from Emerson Royale, if we can get any money, or 5 million, is it, Mr. K? And if whatever money we can get for players that are either homegrown or that are that their initial transfer was already
Sean,
paid
you
off.
faded. Sell wings.
Sean's frozen.
Oh, have I?
Sean, you froze.
Sean, I would just like to. Sean, I would just like to add to that. Basically, we have a yearly payment that we pay for Lo Celso. We never paid for him completely outright.
Yeah.
So we'll save if we can sell him in the summer, then we can save on that. Even if it's just 5 million a year, everything helps. Everything adds up.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said Cameron Carter-Vickers 5 million is because his value isn't really 10 million. Tell you the truth, his value was that's. I'd like to get 10 million for him, and maybe there's someone can work some magic and get something like that from for him.
Celtic.
But he's not.
Okay, whatever it is, 5 million. If it's 5 million, if it's 10 million, whatever it is, those sorts of sales I think goes into the transfer kitty. But the players that we're still paying off, I think that if we get money back on them, I think that just washes the debt rather than adds to the kitty. I would imagine that's how Daniel Levy would structure the accounting.
Sean, I don't think we'll get any money for Dele Alli.
Well, yeah. No, I'd be surprised, right? He can't play enough games before the end of the season to trigger anything. And if he goes down, I reckon they'll sell him on for nothing to whoever wants him, because that will mean that that Everton don't owe us any money. So
Sean, I wondered on that. Well, surely that Levy would have put something into the contract that said that they can't sell him on, or that we get 50% of anything.
Maybe.
Or what? The last point I wanted to make on this was
50%. 50% of a bag of chips.
And make sure it's got salt and vinegar on it.
Jamie, you just took the words right out of my mouth there. No, the one quick point I wanted to make is the Levy model has always been to buy young players with a big sell-on value. I think in terms of where we go this transfer window, whilst that might be a model in terms of some players, there are going to be, I think Conte is going to need one or two really good experienced heads in that camp. And I'm looking at someone like Stefan de Vrij, who we've looked at and have been linked with, who I think most people who watch football, who know football, will think he would be absolutely ideal for our team. Completely on the left side of that defence, as a strong player, two good feet, can move the ball, can bring the ball out of defence, etc., etc. But he's 30. We might have to pay 20, 25 million for him. You'd want to give him a 3 or 4 year contract. He will have little or no resale value at all. But if he's the player we want, then we have to look as well at that as a business model of buying a player for now that we won't get to sell on at a profit, because he will do the job to get us into the Champions League and beyond, to get us the 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 million pound revenue in the future. That's the last point I wanted to make.
Guys, this table over here, this chart we got over here, right? Yeah. Personally, I think that West Ham has probably got one of the most favourable run-ins left on the season. They've only got 3 teams that are really going to give them trouble. But apart from that, well, us as well, that makes it 4 teams really. But, it's always a toss-up between West Ham and us. For some reason, they got, But my point is, if you look at their run-in towards the end of the season, it's teams like West Ham that we're really going to be fighting for that 5th and 6th position.
Yeah.
And, like Man United, for example, I think they're really... I don't think they're good enough as a team, as a collective team, to take on Arsenal for that 4th spot. So I really believe that, if we can have aspire to get 5th and 6th, then really, if we can fight for something with that 5th position that we're after, and really it's going to be West Ham. It'd be interesting to see how Moyes handles the latter half of the season, because one of the issues thatEst Ham has got is they don't have enough depth in their squad.
Yeah, they always fade, Mr. K, don't they? Every season they fade.
But guys, before we go on to this chart thing, right, or this thing here, I just have one thing to say about the transfers, right? Just don't let Levy meddle in it, and we'll be fine. That's all, right? Levy doesn't meddle in it, and we'll be fine, and we'll get the players that Conte won, right? And we'll be all happy in the end of the day. But okay, after that, let's move on to the next thing, the race for Europe, which Sean put up the chart. Thanks to Sean, right? Looking at the games, like Mr. K says, that West Ham looks like, Mr. K is looking at fighting for the 5th spot, all right? A lot of us look down at this diagram here, or whatever you can call it. What do you call it, Sean?
Oh,
Chart.
This
chart. This chart.
Right?
Chart.
Yeah, I've got a chart.
I thought chart has lines or something, right?
If you look at our goal difference,
running chart for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think if you look at our goal difference and you look at West Ham's goal difference, right? Yeah. When you look at our team, we've got more firepower. And now that if the team starts clicking together, we're going to start to increase our goal difference. And we're going to go ahead of West Ham on that. And I think to a certain degree, because things are so tight right now, it may go down to 1 or 2 points, and it may come down to goal difference as to who gets what position. And, so that's why I feel good now that we scored those 5 goals, because it's put us back into the mix. Because if we'd won that game 1-0 or 2-0, we would be so far away in terms of goals. But having got that back, we've got that confidence now to say, you know what? We as a team can score together. We certainly know how to lose together. So this is I think this is a positive turning point. Now we could go and get trounced in the next game, but if you look at it, we actually got 2 away games, and if we can get 3 points out of those 2 games, I think that would be all right. If we can get 4, that'd be even better. And if we win both of them, hey man,
I think we need to win both of them. I think if
we win both of them, we're going for top 4.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But from a top 4 perspective, let's work on the presumption that if we beat Arsenal, right, then if we don't beat Arsenal, if we lose against Arsenal, it's over, right? In my opinion. So if we work on the presumption that we beat Arsenal, then we close the gap. Then we have to see Arsenal dropping more points at some point. It's still in their hands. They need to drop points. Of those games, I think that Aston Villa away under Steven Gerrard is Aston Villa are a different team now than they were at the start of the season. I think that both us and them have to play them at Villa Park. That's a banana skin for both teams. I think Palace away for Arsenal. Exactly, 100%. And they want it. I think that Palace away for Arsenal is a place where they could lose points. I think Southampton away is a place where they could drop points. I think they'll beat Man United. I think West Ham is a tough one for them, and everything else on that list. Chelsea away is the only one. Chelsea away is the only one that has to. So I think that they've got 4 games: Liverpool at home, Villa away, Palace away, Southampton away, West Ham away, and Chelsea away. 6 games where you could see them draw at least a few of those or lose a couple. And when you look at the Tottenham run-in, I don't see this. I don't see that there's 6 games that we drop points against in this to the same vein. I think it's still very much on. I've got to be honest. I think it's still very much on. I think
you're right, Sean. You know what? If we can get past Man United, we could actually have a good run.
Yeah.
Because if you look at all the way up to Liverpool, it's quite a decent selection.
We should be beating every one of those. Every one of those. The only one I think that's apart from United, I think Aston Villa is the only one where we maybe drop points. Up to Liverpool.
That's why we said during the West Ham and the Wolves game, right?
No. If you look at where the Burnley game is, right? Yeah, I reckon that is really where we're going to have a pivotal moment in our season, because the chances are we'll probably go to Liverpool and get our pants taken down again, but we'll still have a chance, and then it'll be down to Burnley. Now we need to win against Burnley because we need that pride back for the fans. Yeah. All right. And I think that if the team does that, if the team beats Burnley, then it'll connect the fans with the team towards the end of the season, because they played for us.
But Mr. K,
they've corrected that pain that we had.
The penultimate game.
Yeah, well, I think it's the last Arsenal's going to get put in somewhere. Arsenal will get put in somewhere between Newcastle and Leicester. That will get fitted in before then.
Do you reckon? I reckon it's going to be between Burnley and Norwich.
Do you think so, do you?
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
I'm starting to believe the conspiracy that Sky will want a nice little the race for the Champions League, Tottenham, North London Derby.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Lasagna Gate Mark 2.
Hope I'm wrong.
No, we can blame it on COVID then, right? Get four cases positive and we can postpone the game.
They'll get heat stroke. It'll be May.
Nothing like one game at a time, boys, eh?
Yeah. But guys, all right, I think I'll just take let's take this away now, right? Because the next game we will be looking at, of course, will be the MU game, right? That's what we're going to talk about now. The MU game is up next, right? My feelings is very simple. MU is at home. They will come at us, right? And that will play into Conte's hand, like what happened to MCT. Conte has this plan, and now Conte has 1 week to prepare our guys to be in this kind of a mentality. But if Rangnick turns around and becomes smart, right, and says that, why don't we turn around? We play the low block and let Spurs come at us, right? And
either end of the pitch.
I can't believe Man United would never play low block against us at home.
No, for all you know, because haven't you noticed, right? We always screw up against the low block teams. Right, we don't know how to break them down. And
ever since we lost Eriksen, right? Yeah, when it comes to a low block, right? Yeah, the pace has been taken out of the game. So therefore, it comes down to a trickster. It comes down to like like an Eriksen or a Messi type player who's going to have to do that to break through. I mean, we used to have players like, for example, Dele Alli and Lamela, like creating mayhem inside, the goalie's area in order for us to maybe get a free kick or a penalty or something like that. But we don't have those players anymore. So literally, we don't have a plan B.
But let's say, for example, if MU does play a low block, do you think Bentancur will be the key with with Deki to unlock MU?
Look, the thing is, at the end of the day, the reason why Kulusevski is exciting right now, because this is his first season here with us. And generally, when you look at players that have come into the Premier League the first time round, the opposition normally does not know how to handle them. By the time they get a handle on that player, that's when they quieten them down, and then that player has to learn some new tricks, has to adapt towards the Premier League. So initially they come in, they have an impact, but then soon as the opposition starts clocking, this is how we need to play against them, then that's when that player is going to have to grow up to another level. Now, luckily, he's only 21, so he's still got plenty to do. Bentancur, in the game against Everton, he looked a little bit green. At the beginning, the first half, for example, he wasn't 100% solid in what he was doing, but in the second half, he started to come on more, right? But I've seen him play much better than the game against Everton. So let's just assume that that's an injury. He's coming back. It's going to take a little while for him to get going again. So that's what's going on there. Sonny, regardless of whether people thought maybe he didn't play as well as he could, he still scored a goal. He still tracked back. He still did interceptions. He still did tackles. And fair enough, his first touch may have let him down at sometimes, and therefore he got robbed and so forth in dangerous areas. But with Dyer in defence, because that's one thing I saw again and again, was Dyer was marshalling the defence, like all the time. And with him having someone like Davis on his left, which is a very experienced player, whether the aptitude and the skill may not be the top quality that you may desire, but he's definitely got the experience and the nuance to say, you know what, I play within my strengths, right? And I think having that experience on the left and having someone like Romero, who is actually a class act on his right, I think that's a good combination, because Sanchez can come in at any time to substitute, or to come in a game where we've got, legs are running a bit low. If you look at the spread of the games, we don't have too many games like chock-a-block. All right, so that's going to give our players, because that's one thing that used to happen to us all the time. We're playing 2-3 games like every 2-3 days, and that would mean that one game you're winning, one game you're losing, one game you're winning, and that's because you're losing your legs, you're using that energy, and having the space in between. Go on.
Sean was talking about the threat of Ronaldo. I'm more worried about the threat of Sancho, to be honest. I think he's started to really hit a run of form. And I think Romero on that right-hand side will be an absolutely critical player for us. He really has to play well. And I wonder, if we're talking about the game, I wonder if he might play Royale rather than Doherty to counter that threat.
Mhm.
Doherty would be unlucky
Ian?
to lose his place, but
Ian, is Sancho
Yeah.
playing on the left wing now
sorry,
for United? Is Sancho playing on the left wing now for
I thought he's been
for
playing on the left.
United?
Am I wrong? I thought he'd been playing.
No,
when
no,
I
he has
watched
been.
him.
He has been in the past. They put him on the left, but he's naturally a right winger.
Yeah,
he
the
would-
last couple of
yeah,
games I
that-
thought I saw him on the left, but I might be wrong.
I
He's been
think-
playing inverted.
Yeah, he's been playing
Yeah,
inverted. Okay, so
okay.
I think
Uh,
when you look at opposition teams looking at our defense, right? Yeah, they'll concentrate on either left wing or right wing, depending upon who's playing there, and they'll pick one side deliberately again and again and again. And I've seen them do that. So you're right, Ian. I think basically it depends what you want. I think right now Doherty's form has started to come good, but that's a good thing. It means that we've got options.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, letting the manager have options tactically is a good thing. You know.
Yeah.
I did
But
say
hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I just want to say a big up to Scott M. Right, welcome back, Scott. You're back, Scotty. Trolling the chats again. Yeah, he's trolling the chats again. That's how Scotty, right? But what you
Got
say
to
is
meet
very
Scott.
true, right?
Got to meet Scott the
Yeah.
other day on a stream. He was a lovely guy. Lovely guy.
Lovely guy. But Scott enjoys being in the chats, right? He likes to troll the chats. That's his profession, little part of it, in being in our YouTube community. But what I'm saying now is that we do know that we have if coaches sit down and look at our wing backs or our left back or our right back, right, or the center left or center right, wouldn't you put like Sancho onto the playing? I mean, let's say play left against our right, right? Because you will have something like Davis and Sessignon on one side. Wouldn't that be the weaker side that you attack instead of Romero and Doherty on the other
It's
side?
always been for the most part of this season and all of last season when we had Aurier. It was always every single team. It was just you're playing Tottenham, just smash it down your left hand side and go after Aurier. Yeah. And Aurier was always someone that would give away a silly free kick or make a mistake. And then with Emerson Royale at the start of the season, a lot of people were always calling out the stats, saying Emerson Royale was. And this is the thing about stats, right? You know, there's always an ongoing debate about how relevant stats are. I don't want to get into the debate. They should encourage an argument or a debate, but they shouldn't be the basis of the debate. I think the seeing eye test is just as relevant as the stats to support your perspective, in my opinion.
Yeah, the impact the player makes.
Yeah, and I always looked at Emerson Royale in the first, half a dozen games, and a lot of people that looked just at the stats were like, he's a brilliant defender. And I was like, I don't know if I agree, because whenever I've seen the game and been to the matches, he gets beaten down. He gets taken down the outside all the time, and then I don't know.
Sean's frozen again.
Yeah, there was an article. There was an article mentioned.
Son is okay.
Am I freezing? Am I?
No, he's not freezing. No, you're quite.
I think he's only freezing on Ian's screen.
Oh, it's for me.
Yeah, no, but
no, he's fine on every other screen.
Ice cold.
There has been an article recently on One Football that was saying that they're already looking to sell Emerson.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
No.
Jamie, I was just going to. The Spurs Express has just tweeted a couple of minutes ago. Atletico Madrid have opened talks with Tottenham over a deal for Emerson Royale. Inter Milan have also made contact to try and sign him. I mean, straight swap for De Vrij. Anybody?
I'll take it.
I think De Vrij is De Vrij out of contract, isn't he, Ian?
No. I think he's got another year, but I think he's got at 30. I think they're only sort of talking about 25, 30 million for him.
I'll swap
it. I'd get rid of him. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But obviously, you can't do anything until the end of the season. But then, I don't know if Matt Doherty is. Sorry about that. Sorry, I don't know if Matt Doherty is the answer long term either. Right? He's a perfect.
Sean, what it is that Conte turned around and said that the way he's seen the the wing backs performing to score goals, he started to get pleased that some of his system is starting to be shown on the pitch, and that was when Doherty was on. So I think Conte has got more reliance upon Doherty performing in the system that he wants, where anyone can score.
Offensively, though, Mr. K, Doherty is definitely offers more. I don't think anyone.
But defensively, he's no good though.
Defensively, he's vulnerable, and against Sancho, Sancho will just twist him left, twist him right,
rings around him.
Exactly. So, and I don't know Emerson Royale. This is the point I was trying to make: is that a lot of people think that Emerson Royale was much better defensively. I'm not so sure he is, but the stats suggest that he's a decent defender. But me personally, I've never felt that he was that great. What do you guys think? Is Emerson a better defender than I think he is?
He's Marmite. He's either love him or hate him, depending on a given game's form.
I think Emerson, right? If he plays more of a defensive role with Romero on the right side, then maybe it's a bit more solid. That's why we are fearing now that if Doherty and Romero, right, if Doherty can't control Romero, then if Doherty can't control Sancho, then maybe Romero has to step in. You see, but the problem is that half the time if Doherty is up the field and he's not back, right, then you just leave Romero and Sancho alone. Then that will see what Romero is really made of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you have Emerson there, right, and if we play the low block and once we counter attack, right, Emerson can't do nuts. That's what my fear is.
So for you, against Manchester United, presuming that it's either going to be Ronaldo or Sancho that is hugging the left, and they're going to target whoever our right wing back is, you would rather have Doherty playing right wing back on Saturday than Emerson, Eugene. Is that what I'm hearing?
To tell you the truth, I'd rather have that because that will give us at least a chance to score.
Yeah. I agree.
Right.
I agree with you.
I think, so Sean, I think that with the system that I saw being played, right, because I went to review the match again because I was at the stadium. There's a lot of things I couldn't rewind to play and watch again. But then I reviewed the match again, and what I saw Conte doing, right, the interesting thing what he did was, every now and again, Kulusevski, right, and Doherty would change positions, where Doherty would end up being more advanced. And the reason why, because then you could pass the ball to Kulusevski, who could then play off Doherty to get more further up. And what Romero was doing, he was shifting in behind to create that defensive block behind him, as if he was a right back, as if he was a fullback. All right. And I think that if you can have a system like that, where the defenders are shifting across to create that defensive position behind you so that you don't get caught out of position, then someone like Doherty, with his experience, maturity, his previous playing style under Nuno previously, where he was coming in to score goals, and him matching what Conte wants him to do with that left back, I think the best thing that's happened so far is really Sessignon coming along to give us that reassurance that he can do something on the left. And by having that reassurance of the mind that the left's taken care of, the right naturally can it can be support. They can support one another. So you have Romero, Doherty, Kulusevski, all blocking that right hand side and creating that defensive block there. I see that as the alternative to having a wing back that's going to be really good defensively. The alternative is to play like this instead, where the wing back goes forward a little bit more and interchanges with the inverted winger or inside forward that Kulusevski can become. Okay?
It's a really interesting
the question
point.
here is, the question is, can that system be replicated if Mora's on the pitch?
That's exactly what I was just about to ask you. Like, how much of a benefit if Doherty's improving as a player because of the relationship he has with Kulusevski, right?
Yeah.
Could Emerson have been like negatively impacted as a player because he doesn't have support from Mora? But if Emerson gets to play with Kulu, could Emerson thrive as well?
Sean, what I saw was that Doherty had a better 1-2 passing system with Kulusevski, and Emerson doesn't have that in his locker yet. Yeah. That slick 1-2 passing, he doesn't have that yet. It's like you can't just get what I've seen Emerson do so many times is he gets the ball, he stops, and then does what they used to do on the left wing, which is stop and then come back.
Guys, hold on.
Instead of going like this 1-2 forward.
Jamie, are you smelling something on the other side there? Oh no, okay.
By the way, Jamie, you're mute.
You're mute.
Ironically, I'm checking my phone out. The thing I could have smelt is on the other side. I've got a humidifier on one side, but no.
Okay.
If I was looking in the other direction, I might have been smelling the humidifier.
All right. And Colin Lumsden says, I can't understand the hate for Emerson.
Yeah,
he was brought in the right back, not the wing back.
Good point.
The agenda of some of the fans.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, we can all agree that he's not the best player in the world. Everyone will say that, but some of the hate he's been getting is absolutely unbelievable. Really is.
I said, he's Marmite. I think he's not the best player, but he's what we've got. So,
but Jamie, I mean, I've said this on streams before. When I was a kid in the mid-'60s going to games for the first time, and we'd sign someone like Martin Chivers, and people would say, well, it'll take a year to settle in. Now you got 10 minutes. If you don't impress in 10 minutes, people are slagging you off. People were slagging Decky off after 20 minutes.
I know.
It's beyond ridiculous. And now suddenly he's the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, and seriously, people need to engage their brains a little bit before they engage either their mouths or especially their keyboards. I think the problem is
guys, the problem. No, the problem is we tend to use hate too often, right? Players are human too, right? That's why on my show I never say that we are supposed to hate the players and all that. You get what I'm saying? Hate is not a good, good thing, right? But I mean, you can dislike him. You might not fancy him. But why hate him, right? But
the thing is also social media, it's got a lot of good things about it, but one of the bad things about it is if Emerson or anyone makes one little mistake, that gets shown on Twitter, and everyone sees it and everyone retweets it, and suddenly he's known for that one mistake where he might have had an actually reasonable game. So it's whereas
you could say Bentancur, Emerson, Kulu, none of them would be one names that we just sort of we want them. They were either panic buys or
not me. Kulusevski was my first choice ahead of. You can check the tape, Jamie. All the way back in November. Kulusevski is the guy. He's the guy.
Well, we've done that, Sean. And
you know what it was? You know what it was last year, right? Yeah. Last year there was that interview, right? Yeah, between Ibrahimovic, right? Yeah, and Kulusevski, and basically Ibrahimovic was saying that he's passing the mantle down to Kulusevski. And if you look at the physical attributes that Kulusevski's got right here, there's much to admire for a very, very young man. There's much to admire. And I think to a certain degree that, it's been one of the blessings that we've had this season is that not only have we had Conte come in, but we also had someone like, for example, Kulusevski coming in. Because we needed somebody on that right wing. We were desperately missing someone on that right wing that could hold his own position. And it's been a breath of fresh air for someone as young as this man coming in, and I think that Bentancur give a little bit more exposure, a little bit more experience running into the Premier League, and a consistent run without injuries. We're going to see a little bit more solid structure to our midfield in terms of the ball being moved through the middle. Because so far, every time we used to play before, the ball was always being chucked out into the corners, into the wider positions, and we weren't able to exploit the ball through the middle. And realistically, if you want to go forward as a team into especially the positions in the top half of the table, and also for competitions as well, you need movement not only from the wings, but you also need it through the middle as well. And I think that's where.
But the sad part, Mr. K, right? Decky, right? His contract or one of his stipulations for us to sign him, right, is that we have to reach Champions League.
No, that's not true.
Really?
No,
I thought I saw that.
No, we have a 1 year. As far as maybe I could be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, we have a 1 year loan with an extension for 2 years with a total fee of 10 million euros, and we can sign him at any point for 35 more. Regardless,
I thought that one of the points that to sign him that we have to be in Champions League. That was part of Juventus deal or something that was put in for Decky. But I'm not sure. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I was on a show with someone else. I forget whose channel it was, and someone brought that up, and then someone else went into the background and looked into tried to figure out if it was true or not, and it apparently wasn't. But I haven't proved, so I could be wrong. Sorry, I'm not. I shouldn't say.
Maybe we'll have to look. Maybe we should have a look into it. Maybe we should have looked into it. But no. But I think Bentancur was the one that is more or less confirmed that we can sign him out or whatever happens, because at that period of time Bentancur wasn't playing much, right? For Juventus, Bentancur could be a confirmed signing, but Decky is one of the signings which is up in the air, where we have certain criteria to meet before he can actually join us. So maybe we have to look into it. Right?
Have you seen Eugene? Have you seen the comparisons that was knocking around on Instagram? There was Decky's first 6 games versus Grealish versus Diaz, the guy we were supposed to sign, and versus Sancho, and the stats, the numbers. considering that Sancho cost 80 million, Grealish cost 100 million, and Diaz cost 50 million, and if we get hold of Decky for, let's call it 30 or 35, the stats, there's an argument to be made that not only was Kulusevski the best deal of the January transfer window, but just already after 5 or 6 games, but probably possibly one of the best deals that Tottenham have ever conducted.
Just to let you know, I try to stay away from a lot of social media. The only social media I use is most probably Twitter.
Yeah,
which
you stay away from the most.
No, but I hardly ever look into it, right? So I don't care about Twitter. Honestly, I'm there, but I don't care. I just use it just to promote the shows. Insta, I'm not into Insta. What else? It's YouTube. That's all. YouTube, and that's all. I mean, that's all I use. Yeah, but not Twitter. I know Twitter is very bad. I was once linked up with Stel in one of a hell of a long argument, and after that, I just stopped it. Yeah, I love Stel.
Who hasn't?
He's got like a you know how when you see Christian Romero on the pitch and someone hits him just gently and he has that look in his eye like, I'm gonna fucking get you, and he's got that desire to have a fight with someone. I feel like I absolutely love Stel for everything about his personality, but he is like the Romero of Twitter. He goes after everybody. Everybody is fair game.
I love Stel, but just as long as you don't get involved in a thread. Yeah, no, just as long as you don't be involved in a thread with him, right?
Yeah.
If you're involved in a thread with him, your Twitter feed will not stop for the next 24 hours. It goes on, and you have about 1,000 messages in it, and you're going like, "Oh no, why did I get into it?" Yeah. But I still love Stel with all my heart.
It's refreshing to see that we've got the community has blossomed so much in the last year and a half, that we've got all these wonderful characters in our community that we talk about just as much as we talk about the players.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, it's
a very good point.
I think there's positives there's positives and negatives on both sides, like we see. But this is what it means to be a Spurs fan, and I think that we're going to have to go through a number of years before we start to change as a fan base upon what we see with our club changing. I'm positive about that because I see changes being made. And slowly they're going to start to get reflected onto the pitch, So I've got hope. I believe in Conte, and I personally think that if this people might think I'm a little bit mad, but I personally think that if things go the right way, he could be here for 6 years, win us a league or two. Achieve something with us which everybody else would consider impossible. I reckon that if he can, I dream that we're going to win the league and we're going to win the Champions League, and then Conte's going to go back and going to go to America or China.
Khaled, I'm with you on this. I think if the backing's there and what have you, and he's able to bring in the players, because it's one of those things where you go, this is not a short-term project where I go into a club, I change it, I spend a lot of money, and I bring it and I win something and walk away. This is something where I can look back on my CV of genuinely building something. Whether he's got the patience for that, I don't know. But
Ian, just say it.
He
right?
did say that, though.
Conte came, right? Yeah. He turned shit into a diamond. That's all.
Look, there's two things. Ian's right.
Eugene, we don't play a diamond. We play a...
point out that is scientific.
Ian is right. Conte has consistently said two things. One, he said, listen, this is going to take a long time and everyone has to be patient. And the second thing he said was, I have to be patient. And that time when he kind of messed up a little bit in the press conference, he turned around and said, listen, maybe I got emotional and maybe I lost a little bit of patience, but realistically, he's told us, the fans, and everyone else to be patient. And at the same time, he said that this is going to take a long time. Normally, when he goes to a club, he never turns around and says it's going to be a long time. So if he's saying that, the other thing he's stated many times is that people do not recognize the changes that he makes in a club's infrastructure, which, even after he's left, those structures still benefit the club. And I think he's looking for a legacy. He's looking for a place where he can have this type of long run. And I think with the stadium, with it being in London, being the Premier League, with it being a worldwide brand, as Ian said, if slowly the indications are going in the right direction, You never know. He might be another Poch. He might be here for another 6. He might be here for 6 years.
Khalid, I think he's clever as well in doing what any good manager does in any industry. Is he wants to underpromise and over-deliver rather than the other way around.
That's true.
You know,
but Ian, Ian, you have to go soon, right, Ian?
I do.
Just last thoughts and the prediction.
I'm on grandparents' duties. What I like is I avoid social media as well when we lose and play badly because it's poisonous and people write all kinds of rubbish that they probably wake up the following morning and think, did I really post that? But there's a real positivity again. The result on Monday, the performance, Leeds, forget Middlesbrough. It's gone. I'm optimistic we're going to win. I'm putting us down to win 2 or 3-0 on Saturday night.
I think we're going to do that.
I'm really optimistic, and this run, I think it was Brad or Sean that said, I've been saying for weeks, at some point we're going to go on a run, and hopefully that run will be decisive and will get us into the Champions League. And on that, I'll just say,
we're just about to change our times.
Continue.
Hello,
Spurs! Take care, everybody.
Yes, Scotty M's being troll-tastic at the moment, if you see his last comment.
Scott, I love you to pieces, but if you're ever going to say something positive about anybody, send me an advance warning because I might read it and have a heart attack. All right?
Wow.
Take care of.
Wow.
Take care, Ian.
See you later.
Shots fired.
I think, look, the thing is, being a Spurs fan, right, you know, we're always hopeful every season. You know, if you look back at the last 4 or 5 seasons, we're always hopeful. And I think that's what it means to be a Spurs fan, is that we have this hope in our heart that we can achieve greatness because we have it in our DNA, in our history. It's just been an unfortunate set of circumstances.
It's a very old history.
Going back to what, going back to what Scott M said about Conte says about winning trophies or winning titles. He's now, Conte said he doesn't compete for top 4, he competes for titles. He can't do it at Spurs. He's now come back and said that now he's looking at the top 4 as being like a trophy for Spurs. So maybe
Levy's got to him.
Yeah, it may be for Spurs, but it doesn't only mean that's what he's going to be happy with.
I think
it may be, hey, I've done the most I can and off into the sunset.
So I think he's saying that for this season, definitely this season.
If you look at his wage structure, he's like the 3rd most paid manager in the world. Like, you know, in terms of how much he's getting paid every year.
Levy.
Who's getting paid
but the
more
thing
than
is,
him?
at the end of the day, who's going to, you know, when it comes to money,
anyone's getting paid more than him, are they? He's the most.
They are. There's Klopp is getting paid more, and there was one more. Pep and Klopp. Pep and Klopp. They're getting paid more than him.
Sounds like an Eastern European kid show.
I think it's
Pep and Klopp.
It's like 20-something million. And
Pep gets about 20. Pep gets about 20. Klopp gets about 18.
Yeah, and basically right now, I found out that basically, well, when I say I found out, it's been reported that he's basically getting paid 15 million a year.
Yeah, told me that's
maybe there's some maybe there's some bonuses as well that might come into play, but I don't think Conte is really too much interested in bonuses. He's more interested in the consistency of how he gets the team to play. And I think when he starts to see that consistency, that's what's going to make him stay.
Brad, you're thinking of the flower pot men.
No. To me, it'll be very simple.
They'd always spy, wouldn't they? Always spy on it.
The simple thing is that if Conte is there and if Levy listens to what Conte wants, right, then Conte will stay. That's all. That's the simple equation. And if Conte is there and Levy still doesn't listen to him, right, that's why most probably he threw the tantrum after the Burnley game, right? That's his shots fired across the board.
Did you see the press conference? I think it was after I'm not sure when it was, but he did say, he mentioned that Spurs have been blah, blah, blah doing this, and he mentioned 20 years, which is just so coincidentally is how long that ENIC had been there. So I thought that was a really sort of, because he makes these comments that you read between the lines, you know what he's saying, sort of thing.
No, that's why I'm still waiting for Sean's Conte's read between the lines show.
Listen, you know, one of the most... But guys, one of the most surprising differences this season compared to last season and any season before is the way that the newspapers and the media news outlets have been reporting about our club. They've actually been quite straightforward. They've been saying some of the things that the fans have been saying, and now it's reflected upon Alistair Gold. Alistair Gold's not holding his punches back anymore.
He's not.
Yeah,
No,
he really
he's
is.
not.
You know, he's. I mean, ever since that debacle last summer, when literally he got told that 100% there was going to be a manager signed, then he went on holiday, and then he came back and he was extremely angry because he realized that he was getting used for the season tickets.
Yeah.
He's changed his mentality since then, and slowly, he started to say things clearly. But the thing is, it's not just him saying it; it's other news outlets like the Daily Mail, the Telegraph, the Mirror, and so forth.
But Mr. K,
Right,
you know
that
why?
also saying these things.
That is because once Conte came in, right, our whole image of our club, the managers, right. You must always remember, all the managers before Conte, they were like submissive, right? They were like adhering to what the club, there's a narrative that you have to follow. The things that you said, you have to, there's always good news coming out. Nobody will come out and tell you the truth directly. They will always go around talk about, we have a mansion with no furniture,
but
right?
Eugene,
It's the same players, different manager, right? But when Conte threw his tantrum, when Conte threw his tantrum, that's when everybody just going, okay.
But Eugene, look, what Ian was saying earlier, right? Yeah, is kind of important. We as a fan base, right? Yeah, some of the fan base have been hurt so much that they've lost a degree of patience and hope.
Most of the fan base,
and I think that if you look at our club's motto, to dare is to do, we mustn't give up on that hope. Right, ours is a great club regardless of who's running it. It's still a great club because of the fan base. The fan base makes the club, so
that's true.
I think that it's going to take a little bit of time for that healing to occur, and once that healing is in effect, hopefully if Conte is still there, then there'll be a good run going across. Look, Conte and stability of our club is what's going to bring the fan base back together. Hopefully. Really, that's what we need, and that's what I hope will happen.
Yeah, hopefully.
In Conte,
but guys,
I trust.
Yes, in Conte we trust. Guys, it's already past the 1.5 hour mark. I will just go around the panel and have their last thoughts, and let's give a prediction for the MU game, right? And okay, let's start with Brad.
My thoughts are. That's my thoughts. Sorry, Jamie's been influencing me too much.
Suddenly spread us.
That was more Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer.
Now, I look from what Mr. K was saying. My confidence has taken a huge knock many times this season. So I'm very, very reluctant now to say anything positive about what we're going to do on Saturday. I predicted 1-1 against Everton. I was incredibly wrong. I still think that in our next 3 games, Man United away, Brighton at home, Brighton away, and West Ham at home. If you said to me, "I'll give you 7 points out of 9," I'd say, "Yeah, I'll have that." Same. So on that basis, I still think that it's going to be a cracking game on Saturday because Man United ain't going to take that. Their fans ain't going to take as much as our fans don't take it. I reckon it's going to be a cracking game. It could be 2-2, 3-3, whatever.
They invaded their own stadium one time.
Yeah, so. I've got a feeling. I'm going to predict we don't get many draws, so that's why I'm going to predict a draw for this game. And to be honest, as long as we play well and we don't throw away a 2-goal lead or 3-goal lead or whatever, I will take a point from Old Trafford on Saturday because we cannot afford to lose to Man United, West Ham, or Arsenal at this stage.
Yeah, I would say a 2-2 draw, hoping for a 3-2 win.
Okay, and Mr. K?
4-1. We're absolutely going to smash them.
Get it.
Let me explain why. Let me explain. Look, do you remember that season when we absolutely trounced Man United in their home ground?
Yeah, 5-1 last season, wasn't it? Or season before?
6-1 and 3-0 a few years ago as well.
The thing was, right, is that it really showed like the team and the fans coming together. That moment made it solid. It's created a special. And I think we need something like this. We need to go up against a top team and we need to beat them in their home ground, and that will do something for the team and the fans as a whole. And it will definitely send a message out there. If, on the other hand, we go there and we get beaten up by Man United, then, just lick your wounds and say, listen, let's aim for 6th. Right? But if we can go there and take on Man United and beat them and get something inside our hearts again, then really everyone's going to start to support and believe again. And confidence is such a big thing. 4-1. I think Man United are there for the taking. I think that team does not have they're not together. Ronaldo is looking pissed off all the time he's on the pitch, right? That may be also tactically as well, where the ball's not coming to him in the right times, and therefore that means the opposition team, the manager, is setting up to make sure he doesn't do so. I'm hoping Conte does the same thing, where he can neutralize that in terms of the midfield. So I'm hoping this is the best time to go up against them and beat them now, because Maguire's taking a bashing, the players are getting a bashing, Ralph is getting a bashing. So this is the time to go there and slap them. We need to take advantage of these type of opportunities. And normally we don't. But now we've got Conte. Let's see if the players can play for him. Let's see if they can bleed for him. And let's see if they can start believing for him. Come on, you Spurs.
Hope you're right and I'm wrong, Mr. K.
And Guguma, last thoughts and your thoughts on the MU game?
Oh, we're going to win them, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that our mentality is coming together under Conte, and the team, we're starting like from the Everton game, the way we were passing.
Sorry, Guguma, you're going to have to be ultra positive because Dan the Bun has just thrown a little.
The worst thing is he's never wrong. He's never wrong, though.
He's
That's
often
the problem.
wrong. He's often wrong.
I am deluded. Listen, I admit it. I put my hands up. I'm deluded.
Yeah,
I always
Guguma,
say,
Guguma, we need your
hold on.
positivity, Guguma.
Let Guguma finish. Go ahead, Guguma.
Yes, we're gonna win them 2-1.
Yeah, there we go.
All
Get
right.
it, Guguma. Get it.
Take that, Danny.
Before we go to Sean, let me say this. Do, Danny Kriyaku. All right. Do, Danny Kriyaku. All right. Big up, Danny. Thanks for being on the show. In the comments, right? If you want.
Very late, Aaron. We're about to finish.
Aaron will want to hop on and talk about Dohertinho. And I'm gonna ask Sean this, right? Sean, what are you doing in the cattle prodder?
It's a camera stick.
It's a camera stick.
I know. It's a camera stick. It looks like a cattle prodder to me, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we hope it is.
When I met my dad at the game and I was pulling it out, he went, "Sean, why have you got a police baton? Put that thing away. It's going to get taken off you." I was like, "It's a camera extension."
and pink fluffy handcuffs as well. You can't see them.
And let's read this. Why is it the fan base believe we will win? We are not going to win, right? We're all the same. Okay, shit team, all right. And then it's
Daddy, I said it.
But he didn't say we lose. He didn't say we lose. It's going to be a draw.
He said we're not going to win. Oh, yeah, true. He didn't say we're going to lose. He said we're not going to win.
Yeah, it'll be a draw, right? He didn't say we're going to lose.
It's not do, Danny and Kiriakou. It's do. How negative are you? Come on, bro.
No.
Fucking tune up. Come on.
Danny, right? Yeah. Listen, Danny is that splash of cold water that we sometimes need as fan base, right? Yeah. Because his experience and his knowledge. It's always been consistent, but I'll put my hand up straight. I'm a Spurs fan. I'm always going to say we can win 4-1 against any team on the planet.
Yeah,
and you know what?
True.
So when we get our act together, we can. It doesn't matter what team.
I love Danny to bits. I love Danny to bits. But in the financial markets, there's something called a perma bear, which is somebody who, whatever happens when the market's going up, they're always saying, no, we're just around the corner from a bear market. And the market, they'll make the prediction here, the market goes up, the market goes up, the market goes up. And then when the market finally falls 10%, they say, I told you so. Even though they started the claim when the price was like 20% lower. Danny, you're not wrong. You're just not right yet. Come on, bro.
He's been
chirpy.
He's
We
been
got a top four race on.
Danny's been consistently right.
I love him. I love Danny. I love him to pieces.
Yeah.
I love him to pieces.
Yeah. And Sean, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a great game. I think we're going to win 3-1. I'm super positive, like Mr. K. I think it's going to be. Like Brad, it's going to be a great game, a really tight game to start with, and then all of a sudden it's going to open up, and we're going to score first. Then they're going to come out, and then we're actually going to just wipe the floor with them. They're going to get booed off the pitch, and top four is going to be on pink delusion. Come on, Tottenham!
From my point of view, right, I'm going to say this like this: if MU does come at us, I think Conte will have a plan to counter-attack them, right? And we will beat them. And if we beat them convincingly, then we'll be starting singing Ragnick on the wheel again, right?
Yeah.
Not Ole at the wheel.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph, right? Or something like that. Or for all you know, right? What Ole did to us when Nuno was there and what we do to MU, could happen to Ralph.
Yeah.
hard to say, right? They might have to take him out, right, and put in a different manager and put him back as the DOF or something like that, right, and find somebody else to maybe like Carrick. Oh dear! Don't tell me Danny. Oh, look who's on.
Hey,
morning, brother.
Oh, Canada. It's Ryan Daigle.
No, do it's for Danny.
What the hell is on Jamie's head? The second thing I have to say
The Manila
is,
Chirpy.
the second thing I have to say is hello to the outstanding and wonderful Googaba.
Hi, Brian. Great to see you.
How are you, darling?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And thirdly,
how you doing,
hello everyone
how you
else.
doing, Brian? How you doing, Brian?
Oh, okay.
Jet
I
lag?
mean, yesterday I was jet lagged to like a beast. I was pretty much in and out of sleep all goddamn day. I've just woken up today, and today I feel good.
I love that wooden wall, that kind of interior design you got going on. It's cool.
Oh,
Very
mate, when I first started coming on YouTube, people thought I was in a sauna.
But that was your state of dress, not the decor.
You wouldn't use mahogany. You would never use mahogany in a sauna. That's rule one. Someone's made a massive
See,
mistake
there you go. There's a man with knowledge. There's a man with good knowledge of interior design. But how are we all?
Good,
Yeah,
man.
we're
Good to
doing
see you.
fine.
Good to see you,
Yeah,
bro.
We're having that moment of delusion.
Enough. You seen the last thing Bobby said?
No, but he's probably said something about me trying to not being in touch with him.
No, it's about my headwear.
Oh, okay.
It's an egg.
It's an egg.
No. Yeah, no. It's a chicken.
chicken.
He's ready to get laid.
Yeah.
Very good, Bobby. I'm gonna go and say, all right, mate, that's enough. So I did that.
Okay.
Bit of an egg joke. Enough. Bit of French language. I lost on you lot.
No. He was trying to get into it. He was just trying to get into. You was just trying to get into extra time.
Okay, all right, Brian.
The yoke will be on you. This is the new fashion item for 2022.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
all right.
Do you know,
all
if
right.
that's the new fashion item for 2022, I'm willing to put a crazy bet on about another tattoo. That's how confident I am.
Good afternoon, Brian.
What's up, Graham?
Hey, Graham, big up, Graham. Right. No,
Yeah,
Brian,
you'll have to speak to my wife if you're going to get me to have a tattoo on that basis.
No, I said I would get a tattoo.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bit of space
Brian,
left.
Brian, you just hopped
Bobby
on.
K, excellent.
Yes. And Brian, you just hopped on as we were about to do the closings. But of course, I'll let you have your say about the MU game. What are your feelings on it?
The Manchester United game, what can I say? Listen, we all know what we've been doing recently. Win, lose, 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 win, lose. Let's hope it doesn't continue. All you do have to say is a man you played in the Champions League last night.
No, it's next Tuesday.
Okay. So their next game to get revenge on Man City or to get them. And also, you've also got to remember there's that little thing about bit of revenge for 6-1 that they've got on us. Because that was last season, and they're going to have a full house. If we play well, the crowd will turn toxic on them very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. If we play the exact same team as we did Monday, we should win. But also, every time we've played the exact same team after a win, we've got a lost. So this is where Spursy really comes into it, isn't it? This is where that word, when you say, "Yep, you got Man U who are playing terribly," and every time we play the same team, we lose. We need to get 3 points. We desperately need to get 3 points, and I think we're going to get them.
I think on that basis we're going to have to be really clucky.
Oh, Jamie, I've been on here for 5 minutes. You've used 67 puns.
And that's no yoke. That's no yoke whatsoever.
That's no yoke. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Guys, big up, the viewing audience and the people inside the chat.
Yeah.
There's been lots of people that have made chats and comments. We really do appreciate everything that you guys do out there. And you know what? Every single person that's in the chat right now, we know every single one of them. Those people out there that are watching that have never typed into the chat, just put like an X in there if you have to. And just let us know that you're there. Come on, you Spurs. And big up Aaron as well.
Yeah, big
Oh,
up
is Aaron Doe in the
right.
chat? Big up my boy Aaron.
Yeah.
Big up my boy Aaron. Also, did you all see our new Tottenham on tour video with me and Brian together on the drive home?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and it was snowing.
I've been.
And it's still
It
snowing.
was snowing. It was snowing on the way home. I came back to beautiful blue skies, and the next day snow. It's honestly, people say in Canada, it's the one country where you can get frostbite and sunburn on the same day during the winter.
Yeah.
But when Brad comes out in September, May, it will be May. It will be pure sun and pure
Looking forward to that. Wow.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But guys,
be good.
before I do the closing, right, I'll just have to big shout out to the guys in the chats, like what Mr. K says. Thanks of you guys for support, and those who are watching, they put in a comment, you do. And don't forget, right, I keep forgetting to say this. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, right, and press the like and notification button.
And share us with your friends.
Share us with your friends. And of course, let's go around. Mr. K, are you doing any shows lately?
I come in dozen packs.
I'm still going through a couple of medicals, and I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger, and I'm not thinking too far ahead. I'm just thinking day by day, so forth. But I felt good today. Look, I came on straight away into this stream as soon as I realized the stream was on. So that's kind of a positive step. The thing is, I still have a hard time with social media. I think not everyone's cut out for it. And myself right now, I'm not really that cut out for it. But just a little while more, and then you can ask me again in another week, okay?
All right.
But I'm still part of the community, and you're not getting rid of me that quickly.
You're not going anywhere. We're not going to let you go anywhere. You're not going nowhere. And Sean?
Yeah, I got a show this evening, I believe. It's 7 o'clock UK time, so in 3.5 hours. Lots of questions to ask. It's either this evening or it's tomorrow at the same time, but I think it's going to be this evening. I'm just not organized enough to confirm, and I always like to keep options open. But 7 o'clock tonight, and you guys can find me at Spurs Talk Show, all one word, #no spaces. And you can also find me at Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff on Spurs Talk Show as well. Thank you for having me, Eugene, as always. I love being on your show. It's always great fun. And come on, you Spurs.
Yep. And Brian, any shows? Are you allowed to do any shows lately?
Am I allowed to? Yeah. Oh no. During the day, this week during the day, so I'm fine. But once Ilana finishes work at 5 o'clock, or she finished a bit later yesterday, for the first week, I'm not doing any streams at all in the evening or this weekend because I'm spending time with my wife because she thoroughly deserves it. Funnily enough, and not only does she thoroughly deserve it, I want to spend time with my wife.
That's good.
So,
well, anyway, according to Bobby K, you should be wearing this hat.
not a chance. Not a chance. Unless you said Jamie, unless you said Daniel Levy leaves the club, then I wear that hat.
Okay, well,
Brian, don't turn that into the bet, right?
his earlier comments about why I was wearing the hat.
No. But Brian,
okay, but yeah, like I said, so we're not doing any. I don't. But we maybe Tottenham on tour. Maybe doing a show tomorrow. Yeah, we are. Hopefully with Bobby K. We were meant to do it today, but obviously me being jet lagged, I think that's been postponed till tomorrow. And I think that's going to be at 9 or 10 a.m. my time, which is 2 or 3 UK time. And yeah. Tottenham on tour is where you can find me, but as I've been saying on all these streams, on every single stream I do, listen, before you follow Tottenham on tour, do not go and click subscribe on Tottenham on Claw. Do not subscribe to Tottenham on tour. Go over to Bob Spur TV and click subscribe on that channel, because that's the channel that everyone needs to subscribe to. That's the channel, if you haven't been watching or haven't been watching before all the bad stuff happened, he'll be back soon. And he will be back on Saturday nights. And that's a show you do not want to miss. That's a channel you definitely want to be a part of. So, yeah, find me and Brian Ireland and Adam Clark, and, of course, Danny Kiriakou. Danny Kiriakou. You can find that at Tottenham on Tour. But most importantly, go subscribe to Bob Spur TV.
Go subscribe to Bob Spur TV, guys, if you're not subscribed yet, right? Before we end the show, I'm going to say, of course, big up to Bobby K, Guguma, Lisa Odell, right? Who else do we have? Aaron Dubb, Graham, Eva Man, right? Eva, I think, is from Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Last time. Right. Eva is from Hong Kong or Korea?
Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong. Of course, we have Danny Kiriakou, right?
There he is.
How negative are you?
Sean. We were together for the Wolves game, and I quite blatantly told every single person that song is trademarked. Do not alter that song in my presence, or let me hear it, because I'll be coming for you for royalties, because it's done.
And of course, Chris Agamba.
Chris, love that point.
Yeah. And Scott M has been the best troll ever, right?
He says he's speaking reality, not trolling.
Yeah. And of course, Colin Lanson, right? Big up to Colin. Right. Who else do we have? More or less we've called. Oh, we forgot about this guy, Cody Mack. Cody Mack, and of course, Bobby was on earlier. Brian, Bobby was on earlier.
Oh, was he?
Bobby, yep, he was on earlier. I think he's gone for physio now or something.
Pull that comment down quickly in case it gets clipped.
And you know why he said that? Look at Sean now.
Just stressing.
Right. My cousins, right, and of course Derek Hutchinson. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your support, right? And who else do we have? Of course, don't forget Ben. Kaufman. Big up to Ben. Yeah. Ben was here. Yeah, and of course Dermot. Dermot was here earlier too. Big up to Dermot.
Right. Brian, you in bed? You're actually in bed.
Yeah, he's still in bed.
You qualified my e-cigarette. Oh, thank God.
You drop his rape state.
Doesn't even get out of bed for us. That's the disdain that he has.
No, guys, that's amazing dedication. As soon as he gets up, opens his eyes, bang, straight into the stream. Dedication. Love. Thank you, Brian.
Guys, last
wake and bacon, dream and stream.
And Brian,
Shazan as well. Shazan, big up Shazan.
Shazan's here. Yeah. Oh, Shushan. Yeah, big up to Shushan. Right, Sushan, sorry, that day you put your number into the private chats, I forgot to key into my phone before I ended the show. So I'm not sure if how to get in touch with you. I'm not because you're not in any social media and all that. Maybe I'll throw the link into the chats. Maybe I can meet up with you in the back room. Just hold on, guys.
Do that now, and then he can jump in right now. Ask him if he's available.
Yeah.
The last time his internet connection was a bit dodge.
Yeah. But Chris is here too. Chris just finished his show.
Chris is here.
Leicester, Chris from Leicester Till I Die. All right, but guys, this is the end of the show. Any of you guys want to meet up in the back room? This is the StreamYard chat that is going in, right? And before we end the show, Brian, any last words?
If Superman's still here, I love him. What else can I say? It's great to be home. It's great to be chatting with everyone, both online and in the chat. And let's get a Spurs win on Saturday.
Come on, you Spurs.
Any more last words, Brian?
Oh,
and always.
Jet lag. And as always, Levy
out.